Hey guys, just giving an update on the Arduino SLI project. Um, Pretty much just calling it DIY SLI, which is just do-it-yourself SLI. Go through some of the features we have, um, just some of the stuff that's working right now. Um, First thing I'll show you guys is just streaming some of the data to it. This right here is just a quick little program I wrote to send the data uh, to the Arduino over serial on 9600 baud. And this box right here is for RPM, the left display, the right display, and then the gear. Now, I'll just put an example in here. We'll do like a lap delta of 1.25. Lap time of, let's just say, 1 minute 42 and 7, and then we'll say we're in gear 3, and up here, I guess I kind of need to explain this a little bit. What the program is actually sending the Arduino is going to be a value of the letter A through Q. And the reason doing this rather than sending like actual RPM data is I intend to have it so that whoever, when you're setting this up, you can actually have the option of setting up your own shift points and rev limiter and stuff like that. So you can kind of customize this. That way, I don't have to actually write all that in the Arduino code. I can just tell it what lights come on at what piece of data is sent. So you could have it set to uh, basically the last LED lights up at 13,000 where somebody else could have it lighted up, at 15,000. So what I'll send now is just a lowercase a, and that will completely wipe all of the RPM LEDs. So this is run a little slow just because the recording software I'm using kind of hogs down all my memory on my crappy laptop. So go ahead and send that. You'll see display update and the LEDs go away. And then it just progresses simply. So you can put a B in there and send that, and you'll get the first one. And then a C will be the first two. Then like an F, and give you all those. H, give you a couple red ones. And L, give you all the way up there. Up all the way up to P is going to be all of them lit up. And then Q is the last object that's sent. Q is going to be the LEDs blinking on and off. So when you're on a rev limiter or whatever you want to set it up as, you'll have that, and it'll send. You guys probably can't see that very well, so I'm going to slow it down just because the camera I'm using probably doesn't record that fast. So right now the interval on that is 100 milliseconds. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that up to, we'll just say 500 for now, and upload that to the Arduino. Hopefully that should be slow enough that the camera will pick that up. Like I said, this is running a little slow just because all the software I have running right now. Okay, so we'll send that back in, and then we'll go ahead and turn that up to, we'll say P, so you can see all of them lit up, and then we'll send it Q. You guys can see how that's blinking, hopefully. Now, let's blink like that, and we can say, okay, we're on the rev limiter, we'll shift up to 4th gear, and we'll say it drops RPM down to here. We'll send that, and there you go. Now, the reason I'm using this to test is the hardest part of this project is obviously what we're looking at right now is the Arduino. Actually streaming the data from this simulator to the Arduino, it's not too complicated. So basically I've been working on this. I still have a little bit more to do. I haven't done any of the indicator lights. Uh, I'll be working on that next. Um, but just to show you guys some of the things we have, I'm going to go ahead and light all these up. Okay, this is actually the dimmest setting we have, and it's hard to tell because I realize the camera's compensating for some of that. But what we'll be able to do with this is actually set up a dial or a button or something to where we can control the brightness. And there's actually 16 steps of brightness. So this is, I believe, the lowest setting. It might go one lower, but we can turn it up to, like, let's say the 8. Go ahead and upload that. I mean, this sort of thing, it won't take this long to do once it's actually working, because I'll actually program this in to be, controlled by a dial or a button or whatever you guys, really want to do with it. It's kind of your own. So that's going to be 8 on brightness. And it's pretty bright. It goes all the way up to 15, which I'm going to go ahead and turn up to 15, and then I'll turn it back down to 1. That way you guys can see the contrast. Hopefully the camera probably will still adjust. I mean, this thing gets really bright. Okay, and we'll light all those up. You can kind of see how bright that is. I'm sure the camera is actually compensating for it quite a bit. And then I'll go ahead and turn that all the way back down to 1. Actually, let me try sending it 0. Let me look. Yeah, 0 should be good. Let's try it and see what happens. If anything, it'll just go really bright. Okay, so that's going to be the dimmest setting. And it's pretty dim. I mean, it's still pretty bright. Those LEDs, I think if they're pointing at you, they're still kind of ridiculously bright. Might have to work on those a little bit. But there's a whole bunch of different stuff we can do with this. I'll show you guys some of the other features. If I can. Okay. Now, what we're doing is actually that IC right there. That's a shift register. That's controlling what we see here. And then over here, we have 2 more of those. And those are controlling the LEDs here. So we can use a minimal amount of inputs to control all this, or outputs, I'm sorry, on the Arduino. These 2 displays, the 4-digit displays here, are on I2C, so they're only using 2 pins for all of that. So I'm not sure exactly how much storage space like an Uno can use or has, and that might be our limitation because this is a pretty big program and I'm not even done with it yet. So we'll see. But this is the Mega and has a ton of inputs and outputs. A lot of switches you could add to that, and you could actually cut that down to just 3. So a total of 6 pins you could have. But the Mega is going to give us the most options as far as like using 12 position switches and stuff like that. So if you guys have any questions or comments, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them and take any suggestion you guys have or any advice you guys have. Uh, Thanks a lot for your help.